Good evening and a very warm welcome. It's 3 days since the Pahalgam massacre and many things have changed here in Jammu and Kashmir. I myself have just spent the day at the line of control in the Uri sector, making my way back to Srinagar, and we bring you this live special edition of India Matters from the outskirts of Srinagar. At LOC Uri, we had a chance to not only see what the things look like just 3 days after Jammu and Kashmir's worst terror attack, but also spend some time with the people there, the military there and others. Remember, it's a foreboding, ominous time when it's become clear that military action of some kind is likely to be taken against Pakistan. In what shape or form, we don't know, but what we did today is spend time at the line of control to cover all aspects of what's happening there. Take a look at this special report from LOC Uri. 2 days after the Pahalgam massacre, the line of control is heating up rapidly. I'm standing here at line of control in Uri sector, and I'll tell you why that's important in just a moment. But here, along the line of control, that you see there is POK. The Jhelum river is the watershed marking the line of control, and we are reporting along the frontier, the engagement frontier, in many ways the operational frontier between India and Pakistan that has now been activated by the Pakistan army since late last night. Videos have emerged where you can hear machine gun fire. It had initially been reported that firing was only taking place in some sectors, especially this one, the Uri sector of the line of control where I'm reporting from today. But we now know, and NDTV can confirm, that those ceasefire violations by Pakistan last night have actually been taking place along the entire stretch of the line of control, all the way across many posts, but especially here. We are told that just north of where I'm standing on the LOC is a place called Tutmari Gully, where there was a sustained ceasefire violations since late last night. Now, the significance of ceasefire violations is a little complicated, and I do want to explain it because the context here, viewer, is very important. The ceasefire violations do take place periodically. India and Pakistan do have a ceasefire that is active at this point of time. But ceasefire violations taking place in the immediate aftermath of a massive terror attack, like the one that Pahalgam was, makes it belligerent, makes it escalatory, and sends out a different message. You may wonder why Pakistan is firing in the dark. What provoked them to fire? Well, it could be speculative firing. That is the largest consensus, that they're trying to fire in order to see where India's posts are, where the Indian army posts are, whether any movements have actually taken place in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack, where the gaps might actually be, in order to elicit a response from the Indian side, in order to pinpoint where the Indian posts are and whether they've actually moved. It's actually an exercise in intelligence gathering, but there is another aspect to it. And as we report here, and there's a sign here, not very subtle, that says we are under observation, enemy observation, I can tell you that the Pakistan army, especially in light of the clarity that has come in from the Indian political leadership, that something big is coming up. Big military action possibly could be ahead, even though that has not been articulated or enunciated by the political leadership in India. The Pakistan military is also under pressure to show that it is not cowing down, it is not bending down, it is awake, it is alert. Awake is a word that the Pakistan military loves to use in the context of the Indian military, and that's what these ceasefire violations may also be about. Because remember, until the balloon goes up, until conflict actually starts, until a confrontation actually happens, possibly even here along the line of control, the truth of the matter is Pakistan has learned very well from China about what mind games and psychological warfare is all about. And that's the reason why, whether it is Pakistani posts in POK in that direction, up that hill and beyond it, across the line of control behind me, there's firing taking place, or whether it's on social media where you've got many of the open source intelligence handles and social media accounts of the Pakistan army trying to paint a picture of a very ready, battle ready and prepared military looking for the Indian military to make its first move. Pakistan is trying to send out and radiate an image of readiness and preparedness. Now, It is not for us to guess or decide what military action or if military action will be taken. All indications are it could be. But this particular place where I'm reporting from right now has a huge amount of significance. This is a place from where infiltrations have regularly taken place. This is a place where the famous 2016 surgical strikes happened as well. And this is not very far from the Uri camp where one of the worst terror attacks actually took place. And that's the reason why, as we continue to report and navigate the fallout of Pahalgam, where I'm standing could possibly be very, very important. At LOC Uri in Jammu and Kashmir with Ashwini Mehra, Shiv, Aroor, NDTV. The roar of the Jhelum river that you see here at line of control Uri sector perhaps portends the kind of action that India has taken already against Pakistan and will be taking perhaps in the near future. As we stand here looking over the Jhelum river at one of its roughest phases before flowing directly into Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, India's first interim punitive measure against Pakistan was the Indus River Treaty. Now, the treaty itself is something that is being seen almost unanimously as something that was untouchable between India and Pakistan. India could never touch it. Over the years, India had hinted at scrapping or suspending the Indus River Treaty. But Pakistan had always laughed and said, you can't do that because it is monitored and administered by the World Bank. So how can you even think of suspending the river treaty? Well, the truth is India has gone ahead and done exactly that in the aftermath of the Pahalgam massacre. The Indus River Treaty, just to brief those of our viewers who may not be fully familiar, is a treaty that was signed in 1960, September 1960 to be precise. Nehru, General Ayub. It was basically a treaty about water sharing. All of these rivers that flow westward from India into Pakistan are the lifeblood of many things in Pakistan, from their hydroelectric energy to almost 80% of their agriculture, which means that cutting off supply of any of these rivers or all of them means that you're hitting energy security, food security, farmer security, and the economy of Pakistan in general. And that's one of the reasons why the Indus River Treaty that India has now suspended against Pakistan and which involves one of the key rivers being the Jhelum that you see here at line of control Uri, hits an economic jugular vein for Pakistan. Now, where have we heard the word jugular vein recently? That was General Asim Munir of the Pakistan Army, the Chief of Army Staff. But in this case, it is truly a jugular vein. Imagine if almost all of your energy depends on the rivers flowing from India into Pakistan. Most of your agriculture and food security depends on the rivers that flow westward into Pakistan. Now, obviously, India doesn't have a flip switch that can simply overnight turn these rivers off. It doesn't work like that. It'll take a while. But by conveying the intention and conveying its decision to hold in abeyance this entire treaty, which is 65 years old now, let's remember, India has indicated that things have gone way beyond normal with the Pahalgam massacre, and that this isn't just a red line that has been crossed, this is humanity that has been destroyed by Pakistan. And that's one of the reasons why, standing here on the banks of the Jhelum River, we can be very clear about what the Indian government is trying to do. Already such a big action has been taken. What actions go forward from it will possibly be even bigger. With Ashwini Mehra at LOC Uri, Shiv, Aroor, NDTV. There are many reasons why line of control Uri sector, LOC Uri, where I'm standing here, the LOC is right behind me, is so important. It's also a reason why so many people know about it. The 2016 surgical strikes happened just across the line of control in that direction. It was from there that terrorists had slipped in and attacked the Uri army camp just a short distance from where I'm bringing you this report from the ground. And it is also here, just a day after the Pahalgam massacre, that infiltrators managed to slip across the line of control, but then they ran into the Indian army and were killed. 2 of them were killed. LOC Uri has always been a restive sector along the entire 700 plus kilometer line of control. The truth of the matter is, it has been considered an infiltration highway in some ways. Just across the LOC, there are many launch pads. Those were the ones that were hit during the 2016 surgical strikes. Of course, the film that came out has pushed the word Uri into the public and popular consciousness. It's part of our culture now as well. But Uri itself is no joke. There's nothing entertaining about being deployed in this area. It's a sector which is shaped like a bulge with three sides, basically Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. So you're surrounded on three sides by Pakistan-occupied Kashmir if you're in the army and deployed in this area. And it's never very difficult, considering that in many parts of LOC Uri, the Pakistan army posts have a bit of an advantage. They're not very far apart. Ceasefire violations, including the ones that happened last night, took place in this sector and many others as well. Whatever action comes next from the Indian government, one can be reasonably sure that LOC Uri will be part of it. Now, whether there's going to be military action or not is, of course, entirely a political decision. But here, as we've interacted with army officers and soldiers, we will never take their names, of course, because they're deployed here on duty, doing their professional work and carrying out a very, very difficult job at a very, very difficult time. All we can say is we wish them well, we wish them Godspeed, we thank them for their service, and we hope they don't need to be sent into battle. With Ashwini Mehra at LOC Uri, Shiv, Aroor, NDTV.